I also wanted to mention ABLE accounts. Do you guys know about ABLE accounts?
That's what I was about to ask about.
I never miss an opportunity to talk about ABLE accounts. I'm like a spokesperson for ABLE. I love ABLE accounts. Okay, so to qualify for an ABLE account. Okay, so first of all, an ABLE account, what is it? It's technically a 529A account. If you've heard 529, you think, oh, 529 is college savings account. That doesn't work for me. Yes, it does. Here's why. 529A works the same way as your college savings, which means you can put in to this account up to $16,000 a year. It grows tax-free. That means any monies, any earnings that you make, you never pay taxes on it. But if you are, now the ABLE account is the A that comes after the 529A. In order to qualify for these accounts, and this is where I don't know if all of your loved ones will qualify, is you have to be disabled. And there's, I'll explain that qualifying condition in a minute. And the disability had to occur for the age of 26 or younger. Okay. And there's pending legislation to raise that age to 46. But right now it's 26. So 26 or younger, and at the disability, you can qualify automatically if you have SSI or SSDI already. So if your loved one is receiving government benefits already, they're disabled. They've already been deemed by the government as being disabled. They automatically qualify as being disabled under ABLE. If they are not already receiving that, then you can do what's called self-certification. Self-certification, you click the button that says self-certify. It'll take you to the next page. There's a list of 17 different conditions under which you can qualify. You just select the one for which your loved one's condition falls under, and then you go to the next page. If you go to, I'm gonna give you guys the link, so just give me 1 second. Did a blog for our Alabama ABLE account on how to set up step by step, how to set up an ABLE account. But what's wonderful about these ABLE accounts, and I'm going to walk you guys through it, is that these accounts grow tax-free. And what's the real benefit, though, is that you can use these accounts for anything related to the individual's disability. So your traditional 529, you can only use it for college. This account can be used for anything related to the disability. So what does that mean? That means food, housing, hold on, I'm trying to find this link. I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to, so you guys can just link right to it. Okay, there you go. Okay, so it means food, housing, transportation, education, assistive technology, food, clothing, rent. I mean, anything that you can think of that relates to living, your ABLE account is your qualified expenses. So it pays for things related to living, medical expenses, prescriptions, gasoline, transportation, food, housing, clothing. But what's great, and here's what's great, is that when you're on government benefits, you can't have more than $2,000 in resources in order to qualify with SSI, right? Well, in this ABLE account, you can have up to $100,000 and still qualify for government benefits. Because the government realized it's doing nobody any good by keeping individuals with disabilities in poverty and keeping them below $2,000. So it allows you to have up to $100,000 and still qualify for government benefits. Now, this is not like you can go down to Wells Fargo and Regions Bank and open an account. You have to go through a 529 ABLE plan to open up an account. You can only have one account, so you can't have multiple accounts out there. You can only have one. And I've sent you guys the link on how to open the account, step by step, how to do it. In that step by step, you can read all of those qualifying conditions, okay? So if you have any questions like where would my loved one fall on any of these conditions, you can look to see where it would fall. And if you pay Alabama income taxes and you contribute to an Alabama ABLE plan, you can deduct, I think it's up to $5,000 a year in Alabama income taxes on your Alabama income tax return. So there's a real benefit to investing in the Alabama plan. Now, there's a contact us. It's a 1833 number. If you have any questions when you're setting up your plan, and I'm telling you, if you call that number, you're going to get a live person and they're going to answer your questions. I've called and asked them random questions before just to see, if I'm giving the right answers, and then I'll ask like kind of complicated questions like, what happens if my daughter dies? Will her money go? Because I want to make sure the information that's not on the website that I'm giving out to people is still accurate. Sometimes I want to make sure it's up to date, and they'll always be able to provide. Now, they probably think I'm about to go murder my daughter, but they always give me the same information. And so my number may be flagged, but they always have the answers, or they'll say they'll give it right back. They'll call me back immediately and they get right back to me with the answer. So I'm going to give you guys the link to setting up an account. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to set up an account. It's very easy to do so, and it costs $25 to set up an account. So if your loved one qualifies for an account, I strongly encourage you to get one. And here's why. These accounts are really great for, even if you set up a special needs trust, you may think, oh, I've got a special needs trust, we're never going to need it. When you've passed away, right now you may be managing your loved one's finances, and it may be easy and simple, but when you're gone, it may be very complicated for somebody else to do that. The ABLE accounts make it so easy to manage finances, and it allows the resources to go over $2,000. So if somebody makes a mistake and it goes over $2,000, you're not going to lose benefits. So there's not that panic of keeping everything below $2,000. Does that make sense? So you can take your SSI payment, for example, and you can move it into this account every month, and you can pay your bills from this account, your loved one's bills from this account. And so you wouldn't have to worry about the account getting too high or things like that. And so I know for some parents, they like the idea of setting this account up and getting used to this account so that if something happens to them, they have that peace of mind of knowing this is what's in place So their child, if something happens to them and someone's not paying attention to the bank account and it goes over $2,000 because someone's not paying attention, their child doesn't lose their benefits, or their husband or their loved one doesn't lose their benefits as a result.
That
So
is really,
I-
really good news. That's interesting. Mm.
And so, and you know, you can use your special needs trust, your trustee can put money into the ABLE account. And so my daughter, I use ABLE accounts. My daughter has an ABLE account. All three of my children have an ABLE account. All three of them. All three of them qualify. All three of them have one. With the ABLE account, the beneficiary, the disabled individual, receives a debit card. I put money on her debit card every month, and she uses it like her peers.
Mhm.
And she wants, you know, to buy lunch when she's at work, or when if she wants to buy a new shirt or some new clothes or something, she can do that. She can buy clothing and she can buy food for herself, and she can learn how to budget just like her peers are doing. So she can have more freedom and more independence, and she can be, you know, more neurotypical and gain those skills and gain that independence. But at the same time, I can monitor her spending from a distance and from my phone. I get an alert on my phone of her spending, so I can block a transaction if it looks suspicious. So if somebody's, you know, maybe influencing her in some way, trying to get her to buy something, I can block it. So like I've blocked her ability to use her card online so that she's not influenced to go spending it online.
Mhm.
So you can
Right.
restrict it.
Huh.
And that's really great about that card. And so it's a really wonderful system and a wonderful tool. And so I always tell parents, if you're not using an ABLE account, you really should go ahead and start now so that you can start becoming acquainted with the program and the system, so that it's in place and your loved one knows how to use it, so that should something happen to you, it's already working.
Hmm. Hmm.
Is